This question is discussing a circle with endpoints at 10, 4, and -14, -6. So let's just imagine that circle for a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's one endpoint. 10, 4, and then -14, -6. So -14, -6 is going to be somewhere around there. So we're talking about a giant circle. Let's just get a little mental image of what that would look like. So the circle looks something like that. And the word diameter is kind of a magic word there, because the diameter is going to pass through the center on its way from one side of the circle to the other. So if this is the diameter, this segment here, then we know that the midpoint of that segment is going to be the center of the circle. Now, you can always find the length of any diagonal segment on an xy axis by using the Pythagorean theorem. The distance formula comes from the Pythagorean theorem, so we're not really big fans of using the distance formula. Instead, just use the Pythagorean theorem as you see here. So that red diagonal, the diameter, has a horizontal component to it. This length could be called the horizontal component of that diagonal, and this could be called the vertical component. Now, the horizontal component, it's going from an x value of -14 to an x value of 10. In other words, it went by a distance of 24. That would be 10 minus -14. And the vertical component, well, that's going from a height of -6 to a height of +4. Now, by the way, there's so much writing on this that I'm just going to go ahead and make the x and y axis a little darker so we can see it better. So we've got a right triangle with a horizontal component of 24 and a vertical component of 10. Because once again, that's going from a height of -6 to a height of +4. 4 minus -6 is 10. So putting that in the Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. 10 squared plus 24 squared is c squared. The one way to really mess up the Pythagorean theorem would be to not put the two legs as a and b, or to not put the hypotenuse as c. 100 plus 24 squared, which is 576, equals c squared, and that's 676. And if we take the square root of both sides here, we're going to get 26 for the length of the diameter. Now, that's our diameter, which, by the way, is double what the radius is. And so if double the radius is 26, then half of that number must be the radius, which means that the radius, which is half of that number, is going to be 13. Now, looking at this equation, that's what they were asking us for. This is the format of the equation of the circle, where you have a and b as the x and y of the center and r as the radius. So if they're asking us for r, they're asking us for the radius, and the answer to that is 13.